because we just want to get some insight into what is happening. President Joe Biden officially drops out of the race. This happened at the end of the 10 o'clock hour, moments before we were getting ready to go off the air. Jessica, if you hear us, go ahead and chime in now. And what do you make of today's big announcement?
Well, what I make of it is that President Biden knew that there wasn't a path forward. He didn't want to bring down the rest of the Senate and the House with him. And frankly, he had lost the Democratic establishment. He had lost the donors. And most importantly, the polls indicated that he lost the swing voters in the swing states. And that's an untenable situation. So it looked like this was a drip, drip, drip at first. Then it became an avalanche. And it looked to me Friday, Saturday, like this was becoming all but inevitable. And here we are in this extraordinary historical moment.
And Jessica, I'm curious what you make of the way that this announcement was made. He's put out this letter on social media, making this huge announcement, saying that we'll hear more, but we don't know. He didn't do this in a speech. What do you make of the way the announcement is being made? Well,
I think we have to be careful to think too much about that in the sense that he does have COVID. He's somebody in his 80s who has COVID. He shouldn't be out there. We don't know if he's still infectious. We don't know how he's feeling. So I would say without the COVID, then you have real questions about, why isn't this in a speech? Because we have seen him give speeches on teleprompters recently and be able to get through them just fine. I suspect that given the timing of when he tested positive, who he should even be around, that it's just impossible to decouple the fact that he's somebody who should be isolating and should be careful based on age from the way this was put out.
And Jessica, and we should mention Jessica Levinson is a professor of law at Loyola Marymount University and go-to political, exactly, expert on so many of these stories. Jessica, big question, what happens next? The Democratic National Convention is August 19th through 22nd in Chicago. How is the process going to go, or how could it go, in terms of determining who will be the Democratic nominee for president?
Well, there's a lot of different options here in the sense that once President Biden has now said officially, I'm not running, very quickly his delegates will be freed. And we can get into the technicalities of that. But essentially, the states that he won, those delegates that are pledged to him, and he won all of them, they become free agents. And the question for Democrats is really what kind of convention do they want? Do they want a convention where there's a open debate, where there's robust competition for the next nominee, or do they want to close ranks around Kamala Harris? And I think it will be Kamala Harris for a couple of reasons. But one, let's not forget that all the money raised by the Biden-Harris ticket can only be used by one of the contenders, and that's Harris. Based on FEC rules, she's the one who can tap into those buckets.
Got it.
In addition, I think she is the heir apparent. She's the vice president. You would normally, under other circumstances, see her as the front runner. And I think there are all sorts of reasons with politically it being untenable to skip over her. But I don't think you can count out the fundraising. She can tap into those bank accounts and nobody else can.
Great point.
Yeah,
and
I do have a question. And this is something that you continue to hear as well. People in this great conversation ever since that debate that did not go well for Joe Biden. How late, is it too late for the Democratic Party to have someone else in the forefront and realistically win? Let's talk about timing with all of that.
So this is a big question, of course. As we talked about previously, I think this is not just about trying to win the White House, although, of course, Democrats do want to win the White House, but it's also about the down ballot races, right? It's also about finding somebody who can energize the Democratic voters to come out so that Democrats don't lose the Senate. The Senate is the slimmest of margins. The House is the slimmest of margins. And so for Democrats, I think even if you think the White House is gone, you don't want to have a Trump presidency where there's Republicans dominating the Senate and Republicans dominating the House. And in that sense, I think this is, even if we view this as a Hail Mary for the White House, it makes sense for all those down ballot races. And it's not just Senate and it's not just Congress, it's all the statewide races. It's all the city council races where you want someone on the top of the ticket who can get people to the polls if you're a Democrat.
Yeah, and we want to bring this image up because we're getting reaction from other elected leaders to this big announcement from President Biden, including our governor of California, Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom, who posted on social media, and we can bring this up if we have it, President Biden has been an extraordinary, history-making president, a leader who has fought hard for working people and delivered astonishing results for all Americans. He will go down in history as one of the most impactful and selfless presidents. Thank you, Joe Biden. And Jessica, Governor Newsom has been one of those names who's been thrown out in some areas by some people, or questioned in some headlines as to if he could be the nominee. Do you think that's at all plausible?
I don't think it's plausible. I don't think it's likely, particularly to be the nominee for some of the reasons we talked about. Again, I think we can't have this conversation without acknowledging that we have the first female vice president who is a woman of color, and to skip, quote unquote, skip over her for a white man, I think would be very, very sensitive politically. And I'm not sure how else to say that. In addition, if you thought about a Newsom-Harris or Harris-Newsom ticket, there are some constitutional, let's say, issues with having both the president and the vice president be from the same state. That's part of the reason why all the way back when we had Dick Cheney change his registration, his voter registration, his DMV, everything else from Texas to Wyoming before the 2000 election.
Well, I'd be curious to know what type of conversations, in your political expertise opinion, have been happening since that debate that went bad for President Joe Biden till now. Has this been a lot of, do you think they know this is what has been planned, or what has been the conversation, you think?
I think it's largely about the conversation we're having right now. If he steps down, who would it be? Is it possible for them to win? Can they energize the bottom of the ticket? I mean, I think that debate really brought us to this moment. And there's just no two ways about it that we had not seen the President of the United States off of a teleprompter for a very long time. Even if it was a bad day, I think what we've been hearing since that day is that it wasn't a complete one-off. So I think the conversations they've been having are largely, if there's any way to hold on, and if there isn't, then when and how. I don't think that they planned, obviously, on him having COVID during this announcement. Excuse me. I think this complicates issues. But I think that the Biden team was clearly hoping to hold on, but then they lost the donors and they lost the Democratic establishment, and the polls started to crater. And that's, as we said, an untenable situation.
And, I was just reading here, according to the Associated Press, that a party's presumptive presidential nominee has never stepped out of the race so close to the election. The closest parallel, they report, would be President Lyndon Johnson, who, besieged by the Vietnam War, announced in March 1968 that he would not seek another term. So, essentially, there isn't precedent for this, Jessica. What do you make of the context here? And this has been such a unprecedented week. I mean, there's an assassination attempt on a former president who is now the Republican nominee, and then you have a sitting president who's, vying hard to be reelected, who now has dropped out.
It's extraordinary. I mean, there's just no two ways about this. We tend to throw words like unprecedented and historic around, but this is one of those moments. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't have mechanisms in place for this. The DNC will very quickly decide what to do with their convention, and we will very quickly see whether or not everybody coalesces around Kamala Harris, or if they do want to have some sort of grand debate as to who this should be. So unprecedented doesn't mean that there's no procedure in place, that it's somehow improper. Unprecedented means exactly what it says, which we've never had this moment. And we can think about all the factors that led us to this place and all of the ways that we could have avoided this. But here we are, and there will be a new nominee, and it will not be President Biden. And the question for everybody, of course, is how much will that matter when it comes to the Electoral College?
And we talk about the DNC coming up next month, August 19th through the 22nd in Chicago. I'm hearing, or I'm seeing a lot of the chatter online being that in President Joe Biden's announcement today, that one sheet, that one letter that was posted all across social media, he praised Vice President Harris for her work as his vice president, but he didn't endorse her to be the next president. What message does that send, if anything, in your opinion?
Well, I think exactly what it is, which is it's not, and I am throwing all of my delegates, I hope you will support Kamala Harris. I think it could either indicate two things. It could be that he feels that he doesn't want to do that he could be a king or queen maker, and he's not sure that he wants it to be Kamala Harris. I think he could want it to look like he's not putting his thumb too heavily on the scale, like he still wants the voters to be able to indirectly weigh in and decide by having their delegates, their representatives weigh in. It could be a calculation that he thinks it's better for the party if it looks like there was some sort of debate, again, without his thumb and leg and finger on the scale.
Yeah, and Jessica, I know that we don't know how the Trump campaign is going to react to this moment, but what do you foresee? Do you foresee them, seizing on this moment? What do you see as their play here?
Well, I think certainly the Trump campaign will say, see, I told you so. He was not up to the task, and this is a Hail Mary, and this shows how desperate they are. And then I think he will obviously pivot away from, quote, sleepy Joe Biden back to his, for lack of a better way of describing it, greatest hits when it comes to his campaign. And he will also do what any other candidate would do, which is to attack his opponent. And we can imagine some of those attacks. Some of them might be unpredictable, but there's so many ways where former President Trump is not like any other candidate, but he is like any other candidate in the sense that he's going to go after the person he's running against. It might be in a different way. It might be in a way that we're not used to. But I think he will also go after, frankly, what Kamala Harris has been tasked with. For instance, she's been in some ways in charge of what's happening at the border. That is a big talking point for former President Trump. And he will emphasize, in his view, what a disaster that's been.
I'm looking now, and again, that letter with President Joe Biden dropping out of the race, that was posted 38 minutes ago, and it looks like 11 minutes ago he posted another on the platform X.
As well as Instagram, I'm seeing
as
now.
well as Instagram. Go ahead.
He says, my fellow Democrats, I've decided, he reiterates he's not accepting the nomination for his party, to run for president. He says, my very first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president, and it's been the best decision I've made. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee of our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this. So in his initial letter, he didn't outright endorse her as who should be the nominee. Correct. And now in a subsequent post, just a few minutes ago, he did do just that, and he posted a picture of them walking together.
And so what type of, just to talk about protocol here, if he is saying that, Jessica, if he is saying that on these social media platforms, is that a cumulative decision of the Democratic National Party, or is this coming from him personally? How does that work?
I apologize. You blanked out at exactly the saying that moment in terms of what he is saying. I heard the social media part, but not the other part.
So
what he's saying is he's endorsing Harris to be the Democratic nominee now.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, then I think that the previous conversation we had is now moot in the sense that, and frankly, I was a little bit, I will say, surprised. But this is, I think, something that you want to do for the party, but also something he wants to do for himself, right? If he was right in picking Kamala Harris, then it makes all the sense in the world that he would say she's right now. You can't say that you're comfortable having somebody be the heartbeat away from becoming president, particularly when you're talking about the oldest president in our nation's history.
Right.
And then, frankly, I think kind of hedge on, well, I'm not sure if I support her. And again, as we talked about a few moments ago, I think the only reason that made any sense if there was a calculation that it would look bad to the voters if he said, and this is what happens now. Mm-hmm. But it would have been, I think it would have showed extraordinary tension between Biden and Harris if he had not endorsed her.
All right, well, at 11:27 on this Sunday, we thank you, Jessica Levinson, for being with us, our political expert here on the KTLA Weekend Show, friend of the show.